Renovations is something we get involved with a lot. We get asked for how can we make this roof that we've got already better. And quite often it may not be an existing membrane roof, it could be an existing steel roof. And there could be issues with that steel roof. Maybe the pitch is too low, it's damaged, it's leaking, it's just old. We have, particularly with our warm seal system, is we can actually just basically, in most occasions, providing the steel is in a good condition, is go over the existing substrate. And not only steels, we've gone over old concrete structures, old timber structures, plywood, sarking, everything like that with our warm seal system. And what that gives you is actually you're re-insulating the roof or adding value of insulation to the roof, and then on top of that, and you're putting the membrane of choice onto that roof. And generally, the membrane of choice is either our EcoTough TPO or our Flame Seal Torch-On. Both of those membranes will perform equally just as well as each other. And in terms of pricing, aesthetics, and design, is once again we would go down that route with the architect or the homeowner as to what they want as a finished product. It's very simple to do, and it creates a lot of benefits and a lot of cost savings for your renovation. With our SuperRenos, we can offer a system where we don't have to remove the existing roof. So that means you're not exposing your property to the elements, raining or anything like that during the renovation process. And it's a much safer system where we can just essentially just go straight over your existing roof structure and create a new roof, insulated, watertight, and cost effective.
Look, I guess renovations are quite a difficult thing because normally if you're looking at a concrete slab, that's the first cab off the rank. It's the first thing that goes down is your concrete slab. So unless they're actually redoing the concrete slab, and you'd actually hope not, you'd hope that they would be repurposing that concrete slab, then it would come down to, are they knocking out walls? Do they need to put up a masonry wall? Because then it just depends, there's a lot of trend about using standard concrete block and then honing and polishing it. So it really depends what the renovation is. Do you need a structural wall in there?
Yeah, renovations can be tricky, but that doesn't mean that they can't be done. We're currently doing a few projects with renovations where we're doing really deep renovations. But look, in saying that, when it comes to ventilation, I believe that all homes need proper ventilation. Depending on the home, depending on the age, would be the system that we would specify. It just means that as a home gets more sealed, more thermally efficient, the recovery of the system works better. The heat recovery of the system works better. So it's not about should we or shouldn't we do it. It's more about what system works best for our home and how best can we get that into our home. There's obviously some homes have different characteristics and roof spaces and not roof spaces and spaces for ducting, etc. But the reality is that most of our homes have a lack of ventilation, and heat recovery ventilation is the best way to deal with that. Yeah, we'll probably be doing some in the region of maybe 10% renos, but in saying that, we do a lot of existing homes, so they may not be doing a full renovation, but they are putting ventilation into their existing property. Older homes, typically people lean towards positive pressure ventilation. Again, it depends on the home, but if you're doing a proper decent renovation and you're looking at things like levels of insulation, air tightness, using Intello wraps, then heat recovery ventilation becomes a must at that point.
We are going to be doing some technical talks on doing renovations, so using continuous insulation in renovation situations. We've got a lot of technical data on still retaining skillion roofs. So with the changes to H1, that's become a bit trickier. It's entirely possible to still do it using Cooltherm. We have some amazing products like K17, which is excellent for renovation, particularly in older buildings. It's a plasterboard with insulation adhered to it, so fantastic for going around and doing renovation without huge costs. So adding thermal performance, dramatically increasing thermal performance without dramatically increasing the cost. We're actually busy with Eora updating some of their existing stock homes, and that's using our product called K7, which is a pitch roof board, so high-performing phenolic foam insulation. And quite often in those cases, we can actually increase the thermal performance of the roof without interrupting tenancy below. The other excellent product is K17, which is a Cooltherm insulated plasterboard. So it's got 10 mils of jib adhered to it. Oftentimes, if you need to do a renovation and you don't want to go, you can't take your weatherboard off for continuous insulation on the outside. It offers a solution to continuously insulate on the inside of your framing. Can be just mechanically fixed to your timber frame walls or even up in the ceiling, so just fixed to rafters.
The renovation space is quite interesting, that it becomes quite an intrusive space on the homeowner. You've got these builders coming to your house every day, trying to live through the day-to-day life. It's impacting you, and it can be really tiresome. I know back in the day when I was renovating, the first question I'd ask the couple was how strong is your marriage? Because this is going to be a testing experience for you. And as much as we don't want to impact on that space, it's going to happen. When it comes to SIPs, because of the speed of our construction, if you spend a lot more time in planning, a lot of good design practice that's put behind it, it eliminates a lot of that process on site. So we're just starting to do some renovations, and I'm very excited to be in that space because again, by integrating the services, your electrical, your plumbing, whatever, into your panels, we're going to stop the amount of tradesmen on the site.
So in terms of the installation process for solar panels, it's very straightforward to install them on any existing home. Renovations are about 80% of my own business, and we can tailor the system for the lines of the home. We can put them on old villas that get renovated to modern living standards, all the way through to homes that were designed a couple of years ago. Solar panel installations are very straightforward. It's all down to the roofing material, but we can work with any of the major materials that are out there.
We do renovations, extensions, and remediations. Now, a lot of our older claddings, which might have been brushed with the tar of leaky buildings and all this sort of thing, a lot of them are good, but they do need maintenance. And a lot of them, they say it'll last 15 years, you'll get 16, and then you've got to say, what am I going to do now? So choosing the right cladding now makes a difference because you don't want to be recladding it in 15, 20 years' time. But we do reclads, but we also do refurbishments. Okay, refurbishment is where we can put a flexible coating over a sound existing system. We do a lot of situations like, say you got a brick house, and at the time it was a fancy brick, now it's a bit cringeworthy. We can now put our system over it. You can choose your colour, your texture choice. We can put bands and change the whole look of your building on top of a brick. Not only that, it takes what a brick is classed as a wet cavity because it's designed as a wet cavity. It's designed to hold water and let water out and dry naturally in natural cycles. As soon as we put our system on top of it, it becomes a dry cavity. So it makes your house a wee bit more comfortable.